Triple threat match? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we brought the goods. I told you Suave got pulled from that 6-man tag? Well yeah, the championship son is in a triple threat match. Eric Cross says, Suave, you're gonna shine. You're gonna take on two tough, bad hombres. This is gonna be an acrobatics festival. This is gonna be like Carrie Strug, you know, the little bitch that broke her leg at the Olympics and she hopped the pommel horse and everyone screamed like fucking retards? Well, it's going to be way more interesting than that shit, but about equally as athletic. You have Johnny Suave versus the Archangel Casey Jones. Yeah, that's right, creamer panties, bitches. Versus Famous B. Okay, I'm gonna tell you now, because apparently I have to explain this to the crowd. This is indie wrestling. In a match like this, I guarantee they're going outside the ring into the crowd. So if you see somebody that looks like they're going to dive at you, I guarantee they are during this match. So move! That way, when they land on you and you're fucking crying about it, you got no one else to blame except your stupid ass. Because let me tell you, I promise, I assure you that if you don't see at least 3 moves off the top rope that you didn't think were physically possible, I'll give you a refund. And I'm sure there's a thing at the bottom of the screen that says there's no way in hell Tony Grazio can actually offer refunds. So, you can cry to management, but I guarantee you, 3 top rope moves, refund. How about making that work? Now, to bring it full circle, because, you know, let's face it, you can't just mention title matches and not actually, you know, do a proper explanation of a title match. So I'm going to cover first off the tag titles. Now, as you may, let's face it, as you don't remember, several months ago, Eric Cross, when in his initial come to power, when he was still fighting there with Vic, he promised LTP a tag team title shot as soon as LTP found a partner suitable to his liking. So LTP's like, fine, give me a couple months, you know, no big rush, I'll sit on it. And he decides, alright, I got a partner. But I want, but Funny Bone can't make it to the previous show, to New Year's Resolution. Funny Bone can't make it. So I'll take on Bateman in singles matches, you know, a preview, a warm-up. And, you know, we'll handle business from there. Like, alright, fine. Well, LTP's partner reveals himself. Who is it? None other than Jacob the Riot Diaz. And I know what you're thinking to yourself. Wait a second, Tony. Didn't LTP and Jacob Diaz fight a series of matches against each other? And I go, correct! You are paying attention! I give you a gold star, you son of a bitch! Good for you! And then you say, well, why would they team up? They fought each other. That doesn't make sense. To which I answer, oh, you think you're funny with your silly questions and your smart-assy answers. I explain to you like this. If you fought a guy and you really wailed on each other and essentially, you know, you won, but you didn't feel like you super won, you felt like he's still your equal, wouldn't you go back at a later day and say, hey bro, let's go kick the crap out of somebody together and be the super friends? Well, okay, maybe your world doesn't work like that, but that's how the fucking IWL works. So you got LTP and you got Jacob Diaz. Who are they taking on? The reigning IWL Tag Team Champions, Violence Unlimited. Those people scared the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie. Funny Bone and Tyler Bateman are 2 scary, mean motherfuckers. I mean, it's an impressive combination of athleticism and just sheer brutality. Like, if you remember the old school ECW, think Eliminators, except our generation. I mean, it's phenomenal. But I mean, this is not to downplay the talents of LTP and Diaz here. Don't get me wrong. Think of it, honestly, as, like if you cross the Dudley Boys with the Hardy Boys. Let that process. Roll with it. Not accepted. Moving on. That's why you gotta see that. When you think of those things clashing, and, you know, you don't at least get a half a chubber, you're not a true fan. Not a true fan at all. Moving on. I also mentioned it earlier, and I mentioned it kind of in passing, so let me drill it home. You will not see Max Buck versus Big Nasty Jason Watts for the Anarchy title due to unforeseen circumstances. You will, though, in fact see Max Buck versus the Return of the Mac. The return of the Mac. Oh yeah! Willie freaking Mac, dude. Absolutely. I mean, if you're not happy to see the Chocolate Juggalo, if you don't know that that dude's going to deliver you, at bare minimum, at least 2 stand up and clap moments, if he doesn't give you a warm, fuzzy feeling in the pit of your stomach, you're not a real fan. Willie Mac delivers the show every time. Max Buck? His resume speaks for himself. I mean, this is going to be really a clash of 2 phenomenal talents. I mean, for God's sakes, one's in TNA, so you know it's going to be good. And the last, but of course not least, our main event of the evening will be our reigning IWO champion and IWO owner, conflict of interest, Eric Cross, taking on TNA's own Jeremy Buck. Because Eric Cross has been on a mission. He's like, all right, now I'm the sole owner. I won that battle. I'm feeling good. And he's like, you know what? I really got to prove that I'm old school. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. People like me, damn it! Yeah, he's like, went on this crazy Ric Flair trip. That's the only way I can take this play. And he started ending out challenges. First, he challenged Joey Ryan. And we all saw how that ended. He's still technically the champion, but I wouldn't say the peacock got to display his feathers, so to speak. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take on a guy from TNA. Because according to Eric Cross's logic, fighting a guy from TNA is as close as you can get to the NWA without actually being the NWA. Yeah, it makes your brain hurt. But let's face it, Jeremy Buck is a phenomenal talent. World class. Him and his brother literally been around the friggin' world. So, Cross, I know you're trying to build your resume, and I don't blame you. But bro, you challenged one of Generation Me. You challenged a Buck. Jeremy Buck could win. Very likely win. But here's the better part. There's still the special guest. And you know the special guest has something to do with Eric Cross. So, even more than that, because I don't know, the special guest could be a special referee. The special guest could be a special handicap match against Cross. The special ref could be a fucking bathroom attendant for all I know. But it's a special guest. So that means some special shit's gonna pop off. Come down to IWL's tradition is everything. I mean, seriously. Kids, don't smoke. I'm sorry. Public service announcement, 10 seconds. Don't fucking smoke. You make disgusting sounds like this. It's not a joke. Seems funny in health class. That shit's legit. Come down to IWL's Traditions, everything in Chino, California. See your amazing card. See awesome wrestling talent. See me say something to you that you'll feel so bad about you'll have to go to therapy. Because that's half the fun. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the time of the show I love to do the most. Plugs time. Because there's so much good shit you need to know about. First and foremost, IWLWrestling.com. Your primary source for all your IWL needs, because it's IWLWrestling.com, retard. Site number 2, SoCal Indie. Our affiliate, the board where you can really be anybody and post anything. And for the most part, we won't make fun of you, which is completely unlike the IWL. Number 3, and two parts to this actually. First off, a general shout out to Steel Cage Radio for really just supporting the product and being a fan in general. Part 2, they're coming back to once again tape and stream our show live to the internet. So kudos to them, because that is just a technical masterpiece. If you told me, Tony, stream the show live to the internet, I go, aw shit, we're screwed. So, thank you for being obviously way more fucking bright than I am, because I'm just an asshole in a mask. And last but not least, let me plug something that's possibly the greatest piece of audio of all time, if you ask me. Because I'm on it, of course. The IWL crew went down and taped an amazing episode of Steel Cage Radio. Myself, current IWL owner Eric Cross, and we talked him into it. They buried the hatchet. Okay, let's be honest. They were both high on Vicodin, so that's the only reason they could be in a room together. But Vic Luna came down too, and man, we recorded, I think it's like 2.5 hours combined, something like that, of awesome material. We played Jeopardy, we cracked jokes, we said everything except the N-word. You don't believe me? Listen to it. You'll be shocked the kind of shit that came flying out of our mouths. And last but certainly not least, please, 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 if you got a Twitter, find Insane WL. Find Tony Graziano. Find Eric Cross 36. Find everybody else on our fucking roster. They're pretty much all on there. Check our Facebook. I'm sure we got a Facebook. If you still use MySpace like a weirdo, I'm sure we still have MySpace. For Christ's sakes, if you're so goddamn old, you know what a tripod is. We even got a tripod site for that ass. GeoCities, what? All you early 2000 internet dorks are laughing your balls off, and I did that one for you. As always, I'm Tony Graziano. If you like me, you can find me this Friday at Idol's Tradition is Everything. If you don't like me, thank you! Live TV. If you don't like me, well, I'm Tony Schiavone. This is WCW. We'll be going out of business soon. Don't worry about it. I hope you see our Tradition is Everything. I know I'm going to have a good time. I know your mom's going to have a good time. And I know your dad's going to be really confused why suddenly you have a new sibling. But until then, Tony loves you.